Since late 2023, Blackstone alone has spent around £1.4 billion buying up UK homes. They now control roughly 17,000 properties. And when you see a number that massive, it's easy to panic and think, is this the end for small landlords? Are we getting squeezed out? The short answer is no, but the game is changing. I want to break this down properly today. I'm going to look at what the data actually says is happening, why these big funds are suddenly obsessed with family homes, and most importantly, why their massive size is actually their biggest weakness. I'm drawing this from my own experience as a property investor, but also my background, where I worked for 7 years in commercial real estate loans at a tier 1 investment bank. I've seen how these systems work from the inside, and it's very different to how we as small landlords operate. So first up, why the sudden shift to houses? Well, Savills data shows that over 50% of build-to-rent investment is now going into single-family homes. In my old world in investment banking, we used to talk about two things: yield and duration. Small investors, like us, we chase the yield. We want cash flow today, but the pension funds, they chase duration. They want stability for 30 plus years. But here's the catch. They can't just buy the random houses on Rightmove. They need standardization. And if you're managing 17,000 homes, you don't want 17,000 different boilers. You want identical boxes, and that's why they're buying new build estates directly from the developers, so they can get 200 at a time. And this is the reason why you don't need to worry. Let's head to the shed and I'll explain why. Let's be honest, you're not going to beat Blackstone at their own game, but you don't have to. To get a deal approved at a big institution like Blackstone, it needs to fit a very strict box. Scale, they need 50 plus units. Condition, it needs to be perfect or new build, because the simplicity is that it needs to be easy to manage. So if a property has a short lease or damp or needs a new roof, then for the big institutions, the computer says no, it's just too inefficient for them. Now, if we look at the individuals, like me, the scale is that we buy single units one at a time or a few on the go at once. For the condition of those single units, we want a mess. That's how I add most of my value into the properties, by fixing the problems that the property has. And for the simplicity, we want effort to renovate it, because again, that's where I'm adding value. We want the mess. This is your advantage, and I call it the complexity moat. A £1 billion fund cannot buy a Victorian terrace in Newark that needs a new damp-proof course. The management overhead is just way too high. So they'll leave it, and that leaves the high yield value add deals for people like us, the small landlords. Take my latest refurb. The house needed a full rip out. I was there on the weekends, evenings, dealing with trades, sorting out the garden. No corporate fund is doing that. They aren't negotiating 10k off the price because the decor is tired. That effort is where we make money. But there's one other thing that I wanted to mention, and it's from the perspective of the tenant. They want speed. If a boiler breaks in a corporate rental, the tenant has to log a ticket, it then goes to a portal, a manager approves a quote, and a PO is raised, and it just takes days. But when a boiler broke in my property, the tenant WhatsApped me, I replied in 2 minutes, and I called my plumber. He was there that morning. So as small landlords, that's the power we have over the institutions. You care and you are fast, and good tenants value that more than a concierge desk or phone number to call. So here's my view. This isn't a takeover, but it is a shift. The big funds are buying the government bonds of the property market, which is the safe, low yield new builds. But we, as small landlords, are buying the growth, which are fixing the problems that they can't touch because it's just too much overhead. The competition isn't getting harder, it's just moving. If you stay in your lane, buy sensible deals and run it like a business, then you'll be absolutely fine. Obviously, buying these problem properties carries risk. You need to know your numbers inside out so you don't overspend on the refurb. If you're looking at a deal and you're not 100% sure of the maths, I do offer one-to-one consulting sessions where we can jump on a Zoom and stress test it together. I'll put a link for that down below. But I'll also put a video floating over here on exactly how I estimate refurb costs when I'm looking at a potential property. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.